Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Monday's literacy lesson. Okay, today we are going to be having a little look at Year 6 book, and we're going to be looking at pages 12 and 13. It's the Olympic torch relay. Okay, day 52 it says. And it's an autobiographical account from a person called Matt King, who was chosen because of the work that he does to help support uh, injured people, paralysed people. Um, he was recognised and he was chosen to be a torchbearer for the 2012 Games in London. Now, if you're not sure what a torchbearer is, the Olympic Games, there's always a fire, a flame that's constantly going in at the place where the Olympic Games started in Olympia in Greece. And when there's an Olympic Games, a flame, a torch is lit from the flame, and it makes its journey to the city where the Olympic Games is going to be held that year. And different people carry the torch for a certain length of the journey. And Matt King, because of his work that he does, he was recognised and he was chosen to be one of the torch bearers. So a really big honour, okay, because there's not many people who are chosen. So first things first, we're going to do things a little bit differently, okay? And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get your text, I'd like you to get your pencil. And what I have done is I have underlined some words. Okay, and in the second paragraph, I have underlined devastating. So can you underline that in your text? And can you, make sure that you can see? So devastating. Okay. I would also like you to underline in the third paragraph empathy. Okay. All right. And then I would like you to underline recognition. Okay. Which is in the next paragraph. And then you're going to have a little look and you've got freak here in the last paragraph. There is another word that we're going to come across, but I'm not going to get you to have a look at that quite yet. Okay. And you've got a glossary and it does tell you what an OBE is. Okay. And that is a really big honour. Okay. It's an Order of the British Empire. And it means that you have been absolutely, you've put a lot of energy in your time to helping others. You've gone out of your way. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is you're going to look up those 4 words. You're going to pause the video and then you're going to come back and we're going to have a little look at to see if you have used your online dictionary correctly and have got the correct definition for those words. Okay, pause your video now. Right, let's have a little look then. Hopefully you've got the right definitions. Okay, so I'm going to have a little look now at what they mean. Okay, so I'm just going to that's another word that we're going to look at in a bit. So I'm going to look at devastating. Okay, so that's our first word. So devastating. So if something is devastating, it means that it has caught, it's something, it's a huge hurdle, a huge obstacle. You can't believe it's happened and it's had a real impact on your life, okay, in one way or another. And Matt King, as you read the text through, you will see that he was a really big rugby player and suddenly he makes a tackle and complete accident and he ends up being paralyzed. Okay, so for somebody who lives their life playing rugby and enjoying the sport, that would have a huge consequence to what he's doing. Okay, so devastating is our first word. Then we had empathy. Okay, so empathy. So if you've got empathy for something, Okay. It means that you can imaginative ascribing to an object feelings or attitudes presents in oneself. And what that means is you can understand, you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Okay, you can understand how they might be feeling, or you can understand the impact that that might have had on a particular individual. Okay, so empathy. Okay, then our next word that we're going to be looking at is recognition. Okay, and recognition, the word is the state of being recognized, or the acknowledgement here. If we have a little look, the acknowledgement of achievement, service, or merit. And don't forget that our author, Matt King, he got an OBE. So his work and the things that he did led to an acknowledgement of a merit, of service, etc. So he was recognised. Okay, he got the recognition for all of the work that he did. Okay, he was awarded the OBE. Okay, and then the last word that we're going to look at is freak. Okay, oh, sorry, too many E's. I'll try that again. Freak. Okay, and the definition that we were looking for here was an anomaly. Okay, a sudden and apparently causeless change or turn of events, or any abnormal phenomenon or product or unusual object. So something happened. It was a freak incident. You know, he could have done that tackle 9 times out of 10, but for whatever reason, that time he happened to it result in him being paralysed. Okay, so let's go back to the text then. Okay, so here we go. So we now know those keywords, and there is another one that I'm going to get you to look at in a minute. Okay, but let's have a look at the questions now. Hopefully you're going to read it through very, very carefully, at least twice. And then I want you to have a look. The first question, I've sort of given you an example of the kind of thing I'm looking for here. So it says, how did Matt rebuild his life after his accident? Because some of us are tending to be a little bit short with our answers. So even though it's a 1 mark, you know, there's 2 lines there. It's giving you enough space to be able to go into detail. So if I look in the text, I'm looking for rebuild his life. Okay. So I'm going to scan it down, and then I can see here, rebuild my life. Okay, so what I'm going to do there is have a little look, and it tells me that he went back to school, finished his A levels, and then went on to get a first class degree in law. Okay, and then he started to work in a law firm. So I have put in my answer, Matt went back to school, completed his A levels, and got a degree in law. Okay. I could have then carried on to say that he worked in a law firm. Okay. But I haven't. But you could put that in as well. Okay. So, next thing. Why is Matt able to have empathy with his clients? Well, we now know what the word empathy means. So, if we find the part in the text, it says, I work for a city law firm where I have a training contract working with clients with spinal and brain injuries. They are quite complicated cases, and I can have empathy with them. Well, if you think his injury is spinal, okay, he's paralysed, so you've got, think about why he can have empathy, okay, and then put your answer together with that. Okay, so have a little look and see. All right, so then what's our next question? Well, our next question asks us about why does he in line 21 in line 16, why does he describe the month as surreal? So let's have a look in the text. Let's see if we can answer that by having a little look, or whether we need to look it up. So it says, this has been a surreal month for me. So there isn't really a clue in that that can tell us what the word surreal means. And I've just underlined it again so you can see. So let's have a little look at it. Okay, this has been a surreal month for me. No real clue there to tell us what surreal means. So we need to look that up. So we'll go back to our online dictionary. I've got mine here, and you can go back and have a little look at yours as well. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the word freak because I don't want that now. Okay, what I want is surreal. Okay, so now I'm going to look at surreal. And when I look at the term surreal, it means unreal, fantastic, quality of a dream, this part here. So what he's saying is the month has been unbelievable. It's been like he's been dreaming. He can't believe what's happened. And if we read the rest of the text, okay, that carries on from that. So this has been a surreal month for me. A few weeks ago, a very official looking letter. I'm just going to move that up so you can see. Dropped through my door box. It looked serious, and I thought it was about my tax. So if you owed money, but it was from the Prime Minister's office telling me I'd been given an OBE. It came out of the blue and is a tremendous honour. Lots of people don't get OBEs. Okay, very few people get them. So it really is an honour. So you can understand that his mum's cried, everybody's really pleased with him. So 8 years ago he thought his life was over, but he's rebuilt it, and so much so that his charity work that he's done with people who've got similar injuries to himself have led to him having an OBE. So you can understand why he's saying it's been surreal. Okay, so have a little look at that and see if you can write me a really good answer to that question. Okay, so now we understand what surreal means. And then it says, how did Matt, what does Matt mean by that fateful day in lines 21 to 22? Okay, so it's a 2-marker this. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to have a look at the text here. So 21 to 22, it says, I've just tried in the last 8 years since that fateful day to live as normal life as possible. Okay. So I would like you to pause the video again, and I'd like you to have a little go at that question. Okay. And then I'm going to model what I think would be a really good answer for that. Okay. Pause it now. Right, okay. I'm hoping that you've come up with a really good answer. So let's have a little go. So 2-marker. So here we go. What does Matt mean by that fateful day? In lines 21 to 22, why do you think he describes it in this way? And I would put something like this if I was doing it, is Matt calls it a fateful day because it changed his life, okay, and led to his work being recognized. Okay, so it changed his life. okay, and led to his work being recognised. It could have been the end of it of what he wanted to do, but it isn't. It's changed it, okay. And he talks about it being a fateful day because it's something. It changed his life, led to his work being recognised. It could have been totally different, okay. So have a little think about that. So then you're asked, how did Matt feel about coaching rugby and why? So you need to have a little look at the text, and it says that here in this paragraph, it says, in fact, I got my RFU coaching badges after the accident and went back to my old union club in Biggleswade to coach the youngsters. They were great, but I found it tough as it emphasised what I couldn't do anymore. So you've got a clue here as to how he felt when he was coaching rugby. Okay, you've got the why there as well. Okay, so it sounds like he enjoyed it, but he also found it hard, and then you need to explain why. And then finally, Matt says he felt devastated after his accident. Do you still think he feels the same way? Okay, so here it says um, uh, that it was devastating in line 8. Okay, if we go back to that, it was devastating because he was only 17 then. But if you think about it, what else does he say throughout? So if I was answering this question, I'd be looking here. I know I won't be the last person to be paralysed. It was a freak incident and no one's fault. And then this phrase here, I don't hold any grudges. So that's really important, okay? If you think about a grudge, it's where you hold, you're not happy about something and you really want to change it. So have a little think about that. Okay, he's not holding any grudges, so he's not blaming anybody. So how does he feel, do you think? Okay, he may still regret the fact that it's happened, but it's led to him doing things that perhaps he wouldn't do. And then he talks about later on. He talks about those dark times in 2004. But it's like he says that today will be great, once in a lifetime opportunity. So that wouldn't have happened if the accident hadn't happened. It wouldn't have opened doors that he's doing. So have a little look at those. Okay, that question, and then see what you can do with that. Okay. Right. I'm hoping that I'm going to see some super feedback and look out. I might be mentioning those people who do amazingly well. Okay, so what I want to do is I don't want to look at a new page in our word work today. I don't want to look at a new page. What I want to do is have a little look at the work that you did on Friday. Okay, so I want to just look back at that. So spoken language has a register, okay, and you use different registers depending on who you are talking to. So if I'm talking to my family, I might say things like, hey, okay, I might say things like, what's up? Okay, I might say, just making sure that that looks like an either. I might say, what's up? I might say things like, are you coming or what? You know, we're waiting. Okay, so those kind of things. You might use some other more slang language. Now, if I was talking to the Queen, I might say something like, "Good day, Mom. Okay, how do you do? Okay, so under the question mark there, because I'm asking a question. I might, I might say, thank you, Your Majesty. Okay, so I'd be I'd be really more formal when I'm talking to the Queen. So I want you to have a little look at what you did on those and see if you have got, your whether you've got the difference between the two. Okay, so again, put my question mark there. So if I've been for a meal here, okay, um, some of you got this part really well. It was this part not quite so good. Okay, so I'm going to have a little look, and I might say, Tuesday, um, guess what, mate? Okay, I tried that new place down the road. The food was disgusting. Okay, I'm never going there again. Okay, so then on here, if I'm going to write to the manager, this is what we weren't quite getting. So we're going to just have a little look at this part here. So, dear sir, okay, so you would say, I am writing to complain about, okay, the awful food we were served at your restaurant. The quality was disgusting. Okay, the quality was disgusting. So I would be, it's that formal writing. So I'm writing to complain about the awful food we were served at your restaurant. The quality was disgusting. It's that little bit more formal compared to, guess what, mate? I tried that new place down the road. The food was disgusting. I'm never going there again. Notice I put my inverted comma there to show that I've missed out the G, because we do when we're talking. Okay, so those two, the difference. Okay, so I want you to have a little look at your formal part today, and then in your book, I'd like you to have a little go at that task and make sure that you have got a really good letter of complaint, so that you are, you're saying, I can see that formal tone in it. Okay, so if I look further up on the page, okay, a formal version for these words. So again, you want a thesaurus for this. Okay, so if I'm having a look, okay, I would use thesaurus.com this time, and I've got ask. Okay, so if I look up ask, then I can find lots of synonyms for ask, and I want a really good formal one. So request or inquire would be really good. Okay, you could have lots of them, but I would put on that one where it says ask, I would put inquire or request. Then you've got buy, okay, as in when you're going to the shops, you're getting something. So I will look up that. Okay. And here, a more looking online on the thesaurus, I can see procure, purchase, obtain, acquire. Okay, any of those would be really good formal words. So do use your thesaurus for those. Okay, and what we'll do is have a little look in tomorrow's lesson and see just what kind of words you've come up with. Okay, and then we can move on to the next task then. Okay, so we'll have a little look, see what you've come up with for that little section, and remember you're going to have another little go on the task. It's in page 20 in your word book. Have a little look at the formal bit, and I want you to rewrite that, please. Your formal complaint to the manager of the restaurant, and what I'd like you to do is do that in your book, and then your line book that you've got, and if you can then just take me a picture of that, I can have a little look at it. Okay, and then we'll come back, have a little look at what words you came up with for your more formal ones. But hopefully, if I'm using thesaurus.com, you can use whatever thesaurus you've got online, and then you can have a little go at it. Okay, so good luck with that, and I will see you tomorrow for our next literacy lesson. Okay, bye everybody. Looking forward to your writing. Bye-bye.